dietitian from the Rama Health Center. Today we are going to be making a beef and broccoli stir fry. So this is a favorite at our house. It's nice and quick, which I love, and everybody for the most part likes this, and it keeps well for the next day as well if you have any leftovers. So we're going to start off by making the marinade for this stir fry. So we need a tablespoon of the hoisin sauce. So we're going to add that in here. And then we're going to add a tablespoon of the low sodium soy sauce. I've got a teaspoon of cornstarch. Next we're going to add 1 teaspoon of fresh garlic and then 2 teaspoons of ginger. Then we're going to combine all of the ingredients, and we're going to let this sit while we move on to the next step. We're going to add this marinade to our beef. And once we get all this mixed together, we're going to let this sit at room temperature for 20 minutes so it can soak up the marinade while we get the other part of the recipe ready. And this was sirloin strips. You could choose to get a roast and cut it up yourself. It might be a little bit cheaper, but this was nice and easy. So next we're going to make our sauce for our broccoli and beef stir fry. So we need a small bowl to mix the sauce in. So I've already got my ½ a cup of beef broth in here. Next I'm going to mix the 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce and then 1 tablespoon of our low sodium soy sauce, our 2 teaspoons of the cornstarch. We've also got our minced garlic and ginger. And then lastly, we're going to add our dark sesame oil, and we need 1 teaspoon of this. So this does add a really nice flavor to the dish. So if you're able to pick that up for this recipe, it does add a nice flavor. So then we're going to mix this all together, and we're going to let this sit until we need it. So we're just going to set this aside for right now. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our oven or our skillet, and I put in a tablespoon of oil in the pan, and we're going to add our beef, and it should be on about medium heat. So we're going to cook our beef until it has turned brown, probably about 5 to 8 minutes depending on your oven. Okay, so our beef is looking like it is done. So now I'm going to put it into a bowl and just keep it warm while we cook the broccoli. So I'll set that aside. And now I'm going to add our 4 cups of broccoli. I usually just pick up a bag of frozen broccoli because I find it simpler and cheaper. So that's what I did here, but feel free to use fresh broccoli as well. As I said, frozen works just as good. So we're going to cook this for about 4 minutes. So next we're going to add our 1/4 cup of chopped green onions. This is optional, you don't need to add these. If you have people in the house that don't like green onions or you don't have them, no problem. I've made them this dish lots of times without using the onions. So next we're going to add back in our beef. And we're going to make a little well in the center so that we can pour in our marinade, or our sauce. So I'm just going to give it a little stir again just to mix everything back up. And I'm going to add this back in. So then we're just going to mix this together. And you're gonna let the sauce thicken and bubble. And once you see that it's thickened up and bubbling, it's ready, and you might want to just let it sit for about 5 minutes before you go ahead and serve it. Okay, so this has been sitting for about 5 minutes, so now we're ready to plate. So I'm just gonna take some of our beef and broccoli stir fry and put it on our plate. And this would make about 4 to 6 servings depending on the portion that you provide. So you could also add some kind of noodle or rice to this if you like, or again a cauliflower rice or a salad of some sort. And there we go.